Hello, everybody. I want to welcome you to our live stream all about Kidventure's Overnight Camp 2026. My name is Mike McDonell. I'm the president of Kidventure, and I am more than elated to be kicking this off. I know that it's only November in 2025, but registration has begun today for our overnight camp programs in 2026, and we will be celebrating our 32nd year of overnight camp. This past summer was absolutely amazing. It was our largest summer ever, and just couldn't be more pleased with the upcoming season and all that we have planned. And today's live stream, which is being recorded, we're going to talk exclusively about overnight camp. And to help me do that today, I've invited two very special guests. Our first one is Nicole Davis. Nicole, how are you?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm doing well, Mike. Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. So Nicole is our Dallas camps coordinator and our overnight camps coordinator. So she's a huge part of what we do in the summertime, both in Dallas and for our overnight camps up in the Texas Hill Country. Nicole, thank you very much for being here. And also joining us today is Noelle Billings, our Austin coordinator and our assistant coordinator for our overnight camp programs. How are you?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing very well. Thanks so much. So I'm going to bring us all
So
together here
excited.
so we can all see each other. How are y'all doing?
Very excited.
Awesome.
All
So pumped
right.
up for camp.
I know. I am too. It's like I think I get more excited for overnight camp than I think any other program at Kidventure because the opportunity just to be out in the outdoors in the hill country with all those kids learning and growing and stepping outside of ourselves and doing all the things that we do at overnight camp. It just like there's nothing like it, right?
Yeah, it's a really special program. Seeing the kids come back to day camp too after overnight and seeing like a whole new kid, it's so exciting.
Well, I think the goal here um, is for those campers that are maybe watching or those parents that are watching or view this who've been with Kidventure, we're going to talk about some new things today. So some of the stuff that you're going to hear is going to be brand new. And then for those that are brand new, our goal is to help um, educate you about our overnight camp program. We're going to talk about safety. We're going to talk about a lot of things. And let's sort of like okay, so like, if that doesn't get you pumped up, I don't know what does. Every time I see that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish camp was tomorrow. Um, and 72 degrees. That might be nice too, as well, by the way. Okay, so let's talk about our agenda and what we're going to go through today. But here's what we're going to be talking about: a brief history of overnight camp, our philosophy and goals. We're going to talk about the 3 camp programs, Safari, Quest, and Echo. A little bit about the camp team, preparing for camp, and registration. Those are kind of the most important things that we're going to sort of cover in this one, you guys. So let's get with it. Brief history. Well, our first camp was in 1994, 15 kids in a van back in the day. And it seems like forever ago, which it kind of was with 31 years ago. But we knew right then the impact and the power of overnight camp, right? Those kids came back having had an experience unlike anything else because why? You get them out of their normal routine, you take them away from their parents, you put them in a place where they're challenged socially, physically, mentally. They had this opportunity to create some of the best friendships of their life, friends they'll never forget. And they come back with a greater sense of independence and all that. And that really is kind of the power of overnight camp, and it's really our philosophy, right? It's not about the lessons we learn in the moment at camp. It's sort of the lessons we take back with us that I think is the most important thing. And maybe Nicole, you can speak to this. When a kid comes home from camp after doing all these things that he or she felt like they could probably never pull off, what do you think that does to a kid?
I mean, yeah, we do all these amazing activities, and I would say it's just a vessel for those results that you're wanting to see in the philosophy we stand behind. And I mean, it's memories and challenges that they triumph and overcome that they never thought were possible, and they truly come back different kids. I always tell parents, the first day it's a very quiet bus ride, and we're going up to camp, and on the last day, they're crying, and it's sometimes it's really not excited to see their family. They're really sad to leave the friends that they made when those in that short time, the 6 days or 9 day session. And it's lessons and memories that they remember, and it picks up the second they see their friends the next summer, and talk about it throughout the year. And it's amazing to see that difference in such a short time.
Yeah, I talk a lot about this with parents and when I speak. Camp's always been something that's been a tradition in our country, right? And it's there for a reason. But I don't think that need has ever been greater than it is now, right? I think with technology,
Absolutely.
the fact that our kids get behind screens with such frequency, um, camp is like the penultimate opportunity to unplug, to get out, to be with people in an environment that's inspiring, a chance to foster relationships and do things you probably never would be able to do when you're, you know, swiping through TikTok, right? So, anyway, I just think that that's real important to understand is the power of summer camp is the power to change a kid's life after camp is over, right? All right, so let's kind of turn our attention now to the first two of three programs, and I'm grouping these together because they're really the same age group, but they're a little bit different, and I'll explain that. The first is Safari. This is our original program back from '94. It is for 8 through 12-year-olds, and it's a 6-day program. Quest is the same age group, right? But it's a 9-day program, right? And parents always ask me, which should I go to 6-day first and the 9 days? No, I mean you can go to any one of those programs, Safari or Quest. If you think your kid is ready to go on a 9-day program as opposed to a 6-day program, great. A lot of parents whose kids have never gone to overnight camp always sort of kind of lean towards Safari, but really it's up to you. There's not a prerequisite to go to Quest for going to Safari first, right? And there are your dates. Safari is going to be June 29th through July 4th. Quest is July 23rd through August the 3rd. Talk to us a little bit more, Nicole and Noelle, about Safari and Quest and maybe what's new about this year.
So we're very excited to announce a big thing that's new for Safari is we've increased the capacity to 80 campers, but we have the opportunity to be running 2 camps simultaneously at once. So we'll still be split in those groups of 40, still the ratio of 1 counselor to 10 kids, but we'll have Camp Safari Summit and Camp Safari Horizon. So still same tribes, but just 2 different big groups who get to come together for costume parties and capture the flag and all of our meals. And I think it's just going to be such an amazing opportunity for kids to develop more of those friendships and really build and increase that camp magic, and excitement that we see throughout the week.
Yeah, that's the part about it I love so much. It's like you've got 2 separate camps and the anticipation for those 2 camps to get together, right?
Yep.
And maybe for like the big dance we do on one of those evenings, or capture the flag and they're competing against each other. It sort of notches everything up a little bit in terms of the excitement and anticipation and the dynamics of camp. Super excited about that. And then Quest, right? How many kids there?
We take
Yeah,
50
Quest will take
campers,
50.
25 boys
Oh,
and 25 girls. Similar tribe breakdown for Safari, very similar schedule, but just with the extra 3 days, we just get more opportunities for different activities. But we're still trying to mix up the Safari schedule as well and reintroduce some exciting activities that maybe we've done in Quest previous years.
Yeah,
And we're
so
still at the same area of camp as well. So the cabins are the same for both Safari and
yeah, we're
Quest.
going to talk a lot about those cabins in a little bit and sort of go over all that. Noel, kind of, if somebody says, well, what do you do for the extra 3 days for Quest that you don't do for Safari? Talk to us a little bit about that.
yeah, they have the time and space to do some other extra, maybe a little bit more challenging activities that we aren't able to really do at Safari. They're all still geared for that 8 to 12-year-old age group, but they're gonna have more time for more extra challenges, more special, cabin time and things like that that our Safari group may not have the time for. So it's a really cool time for them to take more risks and learn more and build those friendships even further.
Great. All right. So that's a great segue. Let's talk about activities now, you guys. We do a lot, right? And before I go through all of these things, and I know parents probably are looking like, oh my gosh, they're going to go rock climbing and they're going to go caving. Yes, but the number one thing about Kidventure is safety first. Everything that we do at overnight camp, from our accommodations to our activities to everything, safety is paramount. It provides the foundation for everything, right? I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on. But let's I'm going to give an overview of sort of like the big activities that we do, and then we're going to look at visuals about those to sort of drive those home. But kayaking and paddleboarding, right? We're on the Nueces River, um, and we're sort of really close to the headwaters. Beautiful river, right? And we have a lot of opportunities for water sports there, kayaking and paddleboarding being two of those. Rock climbing, we have some of the most amazing rock climbing in the Texas Hill Country. Team building is a big part of what we do. Why? Because we've come together for 6 or 9 days. We want to teach kids how to cooperate, trust, problem solve, how to form relationships. That's a big piece of what we do. Swimming, all that waterfront. I'll show you pictures of that. Fishing has become a big thing. Like it never used to be a thing. We had these campers. I don't know if this was like 2 or 3 years ago, but they actually made a fishing pole out of a stick and some string and a hook and started catching fish. And like every kid was like, "Oh my gosh, we got to do fishing." So it's like kind of become a thing now, right, Nicole?
Oh yeah, it went from that first year in 23, there was a group of probably like 7 or 8 boys. By the time they caught their fourth fish, we had almost the whole entire camp over there trying to take turns, and we were trying to quickly make our own fishing rods as counselors to give kids more opportunities to fish. And now it's became a scheduled activity. It's really been a hit, and a lot of the kids, it's their first time ever fishing and getting that
It's awesome.
opportunity, and so
Love
it's
love
an
that.
amazing activity.
Yes, the Safari Bassmaster Classic, yearly now at camp. Uh, Caving, we have a really amazing cave system there. Every night is going to feature events, whether that's the glow in the dark capture the flag, or the party, or the costume party, or the dance, movie night. I mean, every night is something that the kids really look forward to. Of course, we're hiking, campfire. You can't go to overnight camp without s'mores and a campfire, and a whole lot more. So let's throw some visuals to all these. I'll fire through these, and Noelle and Nicole, why don't y'all just chime in on what we're looking at, okay?
So this picture right here is the barn. This is our main house for Safari and Quest. We start the day there. We meet up in the middle of the day. We end our day there. We have our meals outside on those picnic tables, weather permitting. And yeah, we do an egg drop challenge there. We do crate stacking. We go down that amazing slide that I get dizzy going down more than twice. It's very windy. But yeah, it's where we connect, and we really get to grow that excitement for the day ahead, and end the day off on a really strong note. Here's a
Yeah, here's some
picture
pictures of our
from
campers. Oh, go ahead, Nicole.
no, you got it, sorry.
Here they are caving. Of course, they have all of their special equipment that they take with them. We have really awesome guides that take them down there and help them go through the caves and all those kind of things, which is a really special experience. Might seem scary at first for some of our campers, but clearly they are so excited by the end.
It
And
is
of
like
course,
the darkest.
archery.
It's like the darkest place in the world when we all turn off our headlamps for that minute or so, right?
Yeah, it's totally cool. It's so fun. And then archery tag, that's a really special activity too that we're excited to have at Safari and Quest. That's always a blast for the kids.
Mud.
Mud Wars, yes, our wipeout day. It's how we end the week of camp. We send them back very dirty. We do a bunch of wipeout challenges and set up a big slip and slide, and we do a mud fight. And then after, we do it for about an hour and a half. And a lot of the time that kids convince us to do it for 2+ hours. We get to run and race each other to the river, and wash off all the mud, and it's the best way to start the last day of the camp session. And then here's one of the tug of war challenges. I think this one's the boy versus girls. I heard a rumor that the girls won that one. It looks very intense, but we do a lot of different team building activities incorporated in almost every day of our camp schedule, where we're doing those challenges, and the kids get really into it.
Stand
All
up
right, here we
paddling.
got stand-up paddleboarding, kayaking, of course, on the beautiful river. It's such a sight. It's so gorgeous out there. Always such a hit with the kids, and I know the water feels so good in the heat of Texas summer. And then the blob. There's so many stories I hear about the blob. Nicole, what are some of your favorite stories about the blob?
Wow. I need to have like a Rolodex of all the amazing stories and pictures we get from the blob. I will say I have tried to, I've been a blobber, but never been blobbed. I've always found a way to fall off as I'm transitioning down. But
Interesting.
the line is never ending, and the kids have a lot of fun. And where you see the picture of the kayak, that's the luau area where we do some river activities. There's a big battle blob where the kids can get on. It's similar to like a boat float that they have a lot of fun with, and a gladiator course. And then where the blob is, there's a ginormous tarp slide that they go down, and it's a great area. All of our water activities, they'll be wearing life jackets, including our staff as well. And there are many lifeguards stationed throughout the water activities, as well as zoning. So it's a very fun time for the kids. And we plan it where it's at the end of the day, late afternoon, the hottest part, where they can really cool down. So it's a lot of fun. Great memories.
All right, drift bikes and river fun. Um, Drift bikes are like, I never did drift bikes as a kid, right? Like obviously had a bike when I was a kid, but these things are hilarious. We set up a course. They're going around like race car style, and as the kids go around the corners, the bikes drift. The back end of the bike drifts off. It's an amazing, fun activity that the kids get to do. And then of course, river. I mean, I think this picture right here is this. What section of the river is that, Nicole?
That's at the luau. That's
That's
the
luau.
gladiator course with the power swings. Yeah.
Yes, power swing. All right, let's go some more cabins. I wanted to show parents the cabins, right? We have the most amazing, very spacious cabins. They are bunk bed style. Restrooms, shower facilities are inside of each cabin. So we have girls and guys cabins. And then I think the most important thing, right, is that they are all air conditioned, right? Because I don't know, there's nothing like spending all day long in the Texas heat at camp and coming back to a very cold air conditioned room, which is like a huge bonus for our kids. All right, so talk to us a little bit about nightly events. What does that look like?
So we end the night every day doing a tribal council, where the kids will do funny skits and the counselor challenges. And then we'll finish tribal, kind of break down the highs and lows for the day. And then we do many different activities. We play Rainbow, which is a big game of hide and go seek, where they try to find markers hidden with all the colors of the rainbow. We do Nukem. We have a glow in the dark capture the flag game. We have a Jello challenge with all the kids. We have a movie night, camp party. A lot of times kids are asking to play Nukem again, or another game of capture the flag. And it's a great way to unwind at the end of the day, and spend that quality time together when it's a little bit cooler.
And then every kid, when they come to overnight camp, has heard about the zip line, right? Um, it's not just a very small zip line; it's a very big zip line. Um, uh, First of all, everything at camp is challenge by choice. I want to say that. At the end of the day, we're not going to make any kid do anything that they don't want to do. However, we're really good at encouraging kids and stepping out of their comfort zone a little bit. But this is a zip line. I don't know how long it is. I think at one point it was the longest zip line in the Southwest. And it's an absolute, I mean, it's the closest thing you can probably feel to flying, right? It's a big part of what the kids love and want to do during that week. And just a picture of, part of the camp in front of the barn right there. Thought I would leave with that sort of parting shot there. All right. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what Safari and Quest look like. Um, I want to turn our attention to Echo, which is that sort of that middle school age camp. It's probably like one of my favorite of our overnight camp programs, right? Just because I love that age. And a lot of these kids, um, you know, they need to get out and to be in an overnight camp situation, right? And I think probably more than any other group of kids, I think they tend to thrive. Give them a couple days and they are having the time of their life, right? You would think having to leave their cell phone back home and be out from behind a screen would be a huge deal. And I think some of them probably think that on the onset, but it probably takes about a couple hours and they figure out that what's happening at camp is far more interesting than what happens on their social feed, right? And so Echo is for 13 to 16-year-olds. That particular session in 26 is taking place July the 11th through the 19th. It is a 9-day camp, and just amazing, amazing time. And so I want to go through what those kids do, right, as well. And so y'all, same thing here. I'd love for you guys to chime in here, and sort of talk us through this.
Here's one of the riverfronts. The battle blob or the big blob is right to the right. So those were the tarp slides. But we spend the majority of our week in the afternoon and evening with Echo, ending the day by the river, and you can see a lot of kids hanging out on that floatable barge, and just to sit there and chat with their friends and recap the day and just bond and talk. It's amazing. I would say a lot of the kids, their favorite activity that we do is going to the river and spending that quality time together.
More pictures from the river, huh? I think this group
Yes,
maybe more
going
than
down.
Yeah, I think this group more than any. I think you bring up a great point. We schedule a lot of activities, right? Whether that's caving or rock climbing or whatever it might be. But giving that group in particular, right, that middle school age group, giving them the opportunity just to hang out and have conversations and talk, I think is so important.
Absolutely. There's the legendary stand-up paddleboard. I've gone paddleboarding before, and if you have, I would say triple or quadruple the size of the one that you use by yourself, and hop on 4 or 5 of your best friends and go down the river. And oh my goodness, the laughs that you hear with the kids going down, and it's incredible. And then here on the right is a picture of one of our rock sites. Every time we go, regardless of what day in the week, our guides are very good about doing rock talks with our kids, making sure the equipment is on properly and everyone has their helmets on correctly. And by the end of the week, we're reciting it back, and the kids do a really good job of staying focused during those activities and being courageous. And it's a great time, and it's great to see a lot of them take that leap of faith and trying those new activities. Oh, the super swing, one of my favorites. It is legendary at camp. You go on this big wooden log, and you're strapped up with two of your best friends in a vest. And on the top of the hill, you're hearing a bunch of campers laughing as they are maneuvering this big device, slowly raising you up for all of a sudden you to drop down into this basin with your friends and swing for about 2 minutes. And it's amazing to see the kids do that together. And again, the laughs and the screams are just amazing. And it's a fan favorite day for sure for our kids. Here's the Sherpa track where our kids get to go and walk alongside the mountain. Our campsite has a wonderful path where we rope them in and they get to walk. It's about like a 4 foot ledge, and the kids a lot of the time they are just stopping in the middle, and we're very intentional about taking breaks and just turning around and looking at the amazing views. It's absolutely incredible. Our overnight camp out, we are so lucky to close out the week with a hiking trip where we spend all day hiking up one of the highest points of the hill country where we get to camp out throughout the night. The kids get to pinch their own campsite, make their own food on a fire, make breakfast in the morning, and camp out under the stars. So many campers will wake up the next day and be like, I actually didn't sleep all night because I was looking at the stars. And that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. It's incredible. They get the option of pitching their own tent. A lot of them pick to just lay out a tarp and look at the stars. And it's one of the most beautiful views in the world. There's a pool up there that we jump in and we get to cool off with after the hike. But it's an incredible way to kind of conclude our week towards the end of our camp schedule. Here's a couple pictures of our community service. We're very lucky to do, and it's a very important part of our schedule to give back. I think that teaches a lot of good leadership skills and gives an opportunity for our kids to, kind of quiet down the noise and, refocus the purpose of the bigger picture and how it can give back and make a difference. This year we did a trail clean and we also got to serve in the kitchen and help clean up main camp, so that's been a lot of fun. I know in other years we've got to paint a house in Rock Springs, so I'm always looking for creative ways of mixing up our service opportunity projects, and this is really an activity where kids look forward to giving back and serving, and it's really great to see those leadership skills shine through with our campers. Here's a great picture of nightly events. We do the same breakdown of activities with Newcomb and Capture the Flag and Rainbow. They get a little bit more competitive with Echo, and they really get into those activities. And we do a prom at the end of the week, a camp dance party. We ask the kids to dress up, and we get special snacks and food, and get to do s'mores that night, and it's a great way to end the week. It's become a very big hit is the Echo Talent Show.
Wow.
They got very into it last year, and I want to say it went about 2.5 hours. Lots of talents came,
Whoa.
and it's definitely something we're going to bring back. And they talked about doing it 2 nights, so that's going to be fun to see. And it's a really good way to end the day all together and building those relationships. We have a lot of opportunities for team building as well. I want to say 4 out of 5 of the 9 days we have a structured team building activity in there. So really honing in on those leadership and communication skills and working together. It's great to see. Here's a picture from one of the zip lines. I think that one on the left is the Target zip, where they actually have like a basketball hoop in the middle of the zip line, and the kids get to try to throw a basketball or something on there. It's really great. And yeah, another picture to the right before they go on the zip line, and it's just great memories with their friends, and taking that step of adventure and chance is awesome to see. That picture on the top left is the pool that we do our camp out night, the highest point of the campsite. That's always fun, and we'll always do a cannonball contest. And then on the right is the Sherpa track. We do that as well with Echo. And then rock climbing and rappelling are always a big hit.
Thank you for that, Nicole and Noelle. Appreciate you guys helping narrate the images from camp. I want to turn our attention, now that we've talked about Safari, Quest, and Echo, to sort of what does camp encompass in terms of its inclusiveness. So let's talk about that a little bit. So all of our camps, no matter which one, include transportation from Houston, Austin, and DFW. Now we've got kids coming from China and Mexico and Europe. But we're providing that transportation from Houston, Austin, and DFW. Okay, that's kind of unique. A lot of camps, you'd have to drive them there and pick them up there. Camp kind of for us starts in the parking lot, right? When you drop off your kid. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of nervousness, right? But we get on the bus, we do get to know you games, and we get down the road, and that way when we get to camp, we sort of are already hitting the ground running, and we love it that way. Of course, all your lodging, all your meals, all your activities are included with tuition. All images and video taken at camp, that's yours. We don't charge extra for that. We have meet and greet events prior to camp. Those are typically online. An opportunity for all the staff, including all your counselors, to get on and talk about camp and introduce themselves so everybody's feeling really good on drop-off day. And then on the way back, we have a pizza party, feeding those kids on the way back home. Cabins, just want to reiterate that once again. All of our cabins are very spacious. They are all air conditioned. They're really great. But kids will need to bring their sheets, their blankets, their pillows, their sleeping bags, that kind of thing. And all that's included in a list that everyone gets. Meals, I think this is probably one of our favorite things, right? You know, there's nothing like having an appetite at camp. And all of our meals are made from scratch. We serve those family style. They're healthy, they're tasty, and we make accommodations for our kids with allergies, right? Whether that's vegetarian or gluten-free or whatever it might be. Any other comments with regards to food, Noelle or Nicole?
I don't think so. I know
Absolutely
they enjoy it.
delicious.
It's always a hit, especially after a long day of being out in the water, trying all these
What's
new things. You're starving by the time it comes to mealtime. So
what do you think the
there's
kids' favorite
a
meal
chef there
is?
making the meals. Ooh,
Ooh, great question. I want to say the burrito bowl nights, like Chipotle, where they get to make their own bowls,
Yeah,
has been a
yeah,
big hit.
yeah.
With the chips and the queso. Pasta nights always a big hit with the kids. Orange chicken and fried rice was a big hit this
Oh,
year. I
I've
got
heard
a
a
right.
lot of
lot about
raving
that
reviews
one.
about the meals. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn our attention to tribes. Okay, what does that mean? Well, at Kidventure, we don't just have a whole camp of safari kids and a whole camp of quest kids just going everywhere. We subdivide our kids by ages, right? Because we scale a lot of activities, right? The difference between a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old is vast, right? And so for much of what we do, we change or we scale our activities to meet the demands and the needs of those ages. Well, how we do that is pretty interesting. And it's also very popular. And it's called our tribal system, right? And so, and I'm going to skip over that for a second. Let's go to tribes. So these are the tribes for Quest and Safari. So we're dividing up our kids by either a turtle, a buffalo, a bear, or an eagle, right? Turtle and buffalo being the younger of the group, and the bear and eagle being the older of the group. So there's your age breakdowns. They're co-ed. They're co-ed by activities, right? They go to separate cabins, boy cabin and girl cabins in the evening time, but during the day, they are a turtle or a buffalo or a bear or an eagle. And there's a lot of pride associated with that. There's secret handshakes, or they put their like war paint on differently, or however it might be. They carry around a flag that's the turtle flag, or the buffalo, or the bear, or the eagle flag. I mean, there's a lot that goes into being that, right? And each year the kids come back, they're like, you think I'll be a bear this year? Do you think I'll be an eagle this year? It's a thing. And I wanted to throw that out there because it's important that when we have this great itinerary, and I'll talk about that in a second, but we're really putting a lot of thought into the activities that an 8 or a 9-year-old is doing as opposed to what an 11 or a 12-year-old are doing. And the tribes affords us this opportunity to be able to do that well, okay? Um, Echo has 2 tribes, Denoma and Miyakota. Okay, and that's how we divide those guys up. Okay, is by that. So a very different kind of a tribal sort of situation. I'll give you an idea of what an agenda looks like, and this is a very broad kind of agenda, y'all. So or itinerary, but essentially about 7:30, we're getting up. Okay, no matter what program it is. At about 8 a.m., we're having breakfast, right? And then from, let's call it, morning activities, you're going to have tribes that are divided up doing very different things. They might switch in the afternoon or they might switch the next day. But for example, this morning, the turtle and the buffalo are going to zip line and they're hiking, while the eagles and the bears are on a caving trip. They will all come back together for lunch. And then in the afternoon, we'll have different activities. This one, they're both going to waterfront, okay? Oftentimes, the turtle and the buffalo together and the eagles or the bear together. We all come together for different things, but where appropriate. Nightly events, meal times, a tribal council, those kind of things like that, right? And we're making sure that we build in time for those kids to choose what they want to do, right? If that's just to hang out and read a book or chill with their friends, that's important, right? Giving them the freedom and the independence to choose some things that they want to do during the week, balanced with the very structured activities that we're doing, I think is real important for our kids. Okay. All right. All right. So now let's talk about registration, because today was registration. Today opened. We've already gone through priority registration, and let me kind of explain that, okay? So if you attended overnight camp in 2025, you automatically get first shot at spaces from October the 1st until yesterday at 9 o'clock in the evening, okay? So a lot of our kids have registered already, right? But there are still spots available for each program. Don't worry about that, okay? Registration takes place online. There's a $35 registration fee and a $100 deposit, which is applied towards your tuition. The final balance is going to be due May 1st in 2026, okay? And this year, we now have a new camp insurance program, which you can opt into or not at checkout, okay? And so for a percentage of that tuition, that affords you the opportunity to get a full refund for overnight camp. That can be to sickness, that can be to vacation plans changing, whatever. Okay, we're excited about this, especially for overnight camp, because you're registering for a program that's far off. You're planning to come to camp, but life happens too as well. This gives you a safety net, right, to get that full refund back. Okay, if you have questions about that, feel free to reach out to us. Happy to chat about that and show you that, or you can go to the website and find out about all that too as well. Okay, and there's registration. Okay, once again, this summer filled to capacity with wait lists. We expect that will be the case now. You're fine right now, but would not wait too long. Okay, on choosing that registration for your child. Okay. A couple other things too as well. We do have a referral program. And so if you register and you refer somebody, you can give them a unique registration code, and that will afford them to register through your code. It will automatically apply a discount to yours and to theirs, okay, or a rebate back on yours if you've already registered. Okay, so keep that in mind too. It's a cool little thing we do. All right. Anything else about registration, you guys, that I missed?
I don't think so. It's super easy from our website. Basically 3 steps of just picking your program, getting registered, checking out. So super easy process, and we're always available if you have any questions or run into any issues too.
Super. Thank you very much. All right. I'm going to bring everybody together, sort of wrap things up. I apologize that we all got knocked off. I hope you're still with me. If you are, and you would like to ask a question in the comments section, if you're on YouTube, you can do it there. Feel free to do that. And I'll sort of monitor any comments that come through, you guys, if there's any. If not, I want to remind parents that this is going to be recorded. I think I'll have to edit and put both sections together now and stick them up on the website and on our social media. But I'll do that. So let your friends know if they didn't have a chance to watch this, then we will post that on our social media and then on our website as well. Nicole, any other last thoughts or tips or anything for parents that might be viewing this?
I will say a couple questions that we get, is there medical staff? Yes, there's a medical team. They are WUFA certified, wilderness, EMS certified. And if your child, for any reason, comes up with any sickness or injury and has to visit the medical staff, we will inform you and give you a call and keep you updated. And we really train our director on communicating and being on top of that. Speaking of communication, a lot of parents ask, well, when can I talk to my kid? I'm going to miss him so much. Like Mike said earlier, we are a technology-free camp, but at the end of the day, very late at night, the director will send a recap email telling you everything that each tribe did throughout the day, the highlights. We like to say it's very good with a cup of coffee in the morning. Do not wait for that email because it can be very late at times. But then you get to go on your app and really see that email come to life through the pictures. So that's amazing. We also encourage families at drop off where they can give us letters or maybe a care package to hand to their campers that we distribute and do mail time throughout the week. Or you can send packages to our camp facility. So yeah, I would say those are two pretty big questions that
Yeah.
we get asked frequently.
Noelle, anything to
Yeah.
add?
Yeah, I think another big important part with overnight is our team that goes out there with our campers. Um, Along with being first aid CPR certified, they get all of our really thorough Kidventure training, but then they also get additional training on top of that because they are away from our home offices, away from parents and things like that. So they're very thoroughly trained. They also train with our host facility staff, so they're training with those guides and with the staff there to make sure they're all on the same page, they're following their protocol as well. And we like to say, like, the team that goes out there, that's the best of the best. Those are such special counselors and directors, and some of them have even been our overnight campers in the past. So they've kind of just grown up and become just part of the big family that they are.
Yeah.
So they're a really special team, and they are very thoroughly trained and qualified for the job they're doing.
Yeah, and I'll end with a segue from that too as well, and that has to do with safety, right? Obviously, this past summer was very tragic, to say the least, for a lot of campers and a lot of people along the Guadalupe. And while we are not on the Guadalupe and we did not experience that flooding, um, that is a reminder that you can never be too safe. You can never prepare too much because the safety of our kids and our campers is paramount in everything that we do. It has always been that way for 31 years. And this past summer was unfortunately a gut check to remind everybody of the importance of that. And we have a lot of safety procedures in place, always have. Um, for our overnight camp programs, whether that's satellite phone communications, independent weather stations on site, um, all of our living and meal facilities well above the floodplain. Everything goes into providing a safe experience for our kids first and foremost. The rest of it comes second and third and past that, right? And we have a separate page on our website that you can visit that talks all about all of those safety procedures and our systems that we have set up because we think it's that important, right? So if you have any questions about safety or anything else about our overnight camp programs for that matter, please reach out. We're always available during regular business hours, and if we don't get you, we'll return that phone call very quickly. Okay. So I want to say on behalf of the entire overnight camp team, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. Sorry for the technical difficulties earlier, getting kicked off. Glad we could get back on, and we look forward to 2026 and our 32nd year of overnight camp. Thanks so much, and look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.